everyone can be a samurai warrior. Not everyone can live by the power of the sword. Not everyone can die with honor. I, for example, make kazoos.
From the land of the Shogun, the Bushido Blade.
In the name of the U.S. government, I demand the return of the stolen sword, the Bushido Blade.
Bushido means beauty, honor, and courage.
For us, death sharpens life.
The Bushido Blade, starring Richard Boone, Sonny Chiba, Frank Converse, Laura Gemser, James Earl Jones, and Toshiro Mifune as the Shogun's commander. In a daring quest for the weapon that would unite two worlds. The Bushido Blade, it cuts to the heart of courage.
Now watch, I go into overdrive.
I bring in my phasers like that!
Welcome to Gamers Overdrive, Retro Mode. Kick back and relax while I blast you back in time and guide you down a pixelated, coin-operated, button-mashing memory lane paved with joysticks, consoles, and dusty old cartridges. Where good guys are always good guys, bad guys are always bad guys, and the fate of the universe lies in your hands. Time to kick it into overdrive, Retro Mode. Insert coin to play.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Gamers Overdrive Retro Mode. I'm your host, Johnny Retro, and if you're new to the channel, don't forget to like this video, share it, and subscribe for weekly gaming retro content. Today we're talking about an amazing game from 1997. It was developed by Lightweight, published by Squaresoft, and the game is called Bushido Blade. Bushido Blade, if you've never played it, you've got to play it. It's a very special game. It introduced this really incredible mechanic of one-hit kills, which was unheard of at the time. And it's samurai sword fighting, but the stakes are very high because you can actually disable certain parts of your opponent's body parts. You can chop them in the leg and then they can't use that leg. Chop them in the arm and they can't use that arm. And it's got this incredible kind of branching, I would say, what would you call it, the backgrounds where the stages are connected. So when you're fighting your opponent, you can run in between different areas of the story mode's stages. So it nails everything. It gets the feel of what you're looking for in a samurai game. It nails that perfectly, except for some very questionable choices in wardrobe, which you'll see in my playthrough. But the game is super fun. It's hard to get because they don't have this on the PlayStation Network as an option. For some reason they left it off. But you can emulate it, which is what I'm doing today. And the PlayStation emulator I'm using is really cool because it allows you to smooth out the graphics. It allows you to play it in widescreen where it normally wouldn't be in widescreen. And it's unfortunate that Square, which is now Square Enix, never remade this game, never gave an HD update to it. So emulation is one of the only avenues that you can go unless you get yourself an original copy and play on a PlayStation. But there are some really exciting new Bushido Blade style games that are coming out very soon, and I'll put some links in the description to those. So, Bushido Blade, once again, it's just a really, really fun, not a fast-paced game. It's pretty slow. You have to be deliberate with your movements. You have to really do some strategic planning in your attacks. You can just go button mashing style, but you're probably going to die pretty quickly. And when you play two-player, that's where the game really shines. It's just the perfect two-player experience. It gets this tense vibe where anybody can win at any time. It doesn't even matter if you've been, disabling your opponent's legs and arms. One hit can really make the entire game. So here we go. I'm going to show you some gameplay. I'm going to walk you through the training mode, the point of view mode, which is really, really unique. And I hope you stick around to the end of the video. So here we go. Bushido Blade in 3, 2, 1. And here we are in the legendary Bushido Blade for the PlayStation 1. This is the intro here, and you can see it's very cinematic. It goes for that extra cinematic flair, which you got to do back in the day. Not that they don't still do that, but it's just Bushido Blade went the extra mile in terms of just giving it that real samurai feel. Now, except for a few key elements, like the costumes, which I'll show you a little bit later. But this game was really a trailblazer. The idea of a fighting game that had realistic consequences to the point of one-hit kills was relatively unheard of. It was the generation of Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, where even if you are fatalicized, you still have another round. So Bushido Blade was very unique in that way, and it was created by Squaresoft, which was known for role-playing games for the most part. They did have other fighting games. They had Tobal number 1 and 2, and they had Urgits, which is another excellent fighting game. But Bushido Blade really stood out, and it made a name for itself, and I think it's become kind of a cult classic. Let's take a look at the menu. Here we have Link Mode. Link Mode was for really hardcore gamers back in the day who didn't want to have split screen lines on the screen when they had a two-player fight, so they would connect 2 PlayStations together, and they would each get their own TV screen. So you'd have 2 TV screens side by side with 2 PlayStations. It was pretty hardcore. Here we have Point of View Mode. Point of View Mode is really cool. It was kind of a first-person, well, it was literally a first-person mode, and it was a good one too. Now, it wasn't the first-person sword fighter, but it was definitely one of the better ones. So it's a feature they didn't need to put in at all, but they did it, and it was just another thing one thing I love about games in the old days is that I feel like the developers really packed in a lot of good content just to make it feel like you were getting your money's worth. So we live in the modern era of nickeling and diming you with in-game purchases and DLC and stuff like that, and I never felt that in the old days. I felt like I was getting my money's worth, and Bushido Blade is a good example of that. It goes back into the little demo mode if you let it sit. So that was first-person mode. We have a really good training mode, which I'm going to start out in after I show you the options mode. But slash mode is just an endurance. You can test your skills and see how many faceless ninjas you can slice and dice. So in the options menu here, which I'll go to, let me move out of the way here. You can see the difficulty. Make sure that it's on easy when you start, because it's a very difficult game and you're going to hate it if you keep dying. So start out on easy. Learn the ropes before you go up to that hard difficulty level, which I think is very hard. Rollout rate, I'm not exactly 100% sure what that does. I think it has something to do with falling off the screen, but I leave it on low just to be safe. Music monitor, you can actually make this game black and white, which is really awesome. It gives it that old classic samurai movie feel. And continues on, make sure you put that on. Background, bright, dark, your choice, totally up to you. And memory card save if you're playing this on PlayStation, on a real original PlayStation. Otherwise, you don't have to worry about that. Autosave, turn that on. But yeah, so let's start out with the training mode. How about that? Training mode is really cool. It gives you a wooden weapon, so just to make you feel like you actually are training. And here are the characters. Let me just move out of the way for a second. We have Red Shadow, Tatsumi, Mikado, Black Lotus, Utsusemi, and Kanuki. And my favorite is Black Lotus. I think he's pretty cool. In the story mode, all of these really nice costumes are completely scrapped for really stupid looking steampunk industrial weirdo costumes. For some reason, I have no idea why. Boggles my mind. Look at how cool these outfits look, and then when you play the story mode, they'll change into something really ridiculous looking. But let me choose Black Lotus, and I'll fight Kanuki. That looks pretty cool. Now look at these weapons. Amazing weapons that they have. They have a katana. They have a rapier, a naginata spear, we have a sledgehammer, which I'm going to show you later. We have a nodachi, a long sword, a saber, a broadsword, which I love, and back to the katana. So all of these change your playstyle. Depending on what sword you choose, it will change the way that you fight. And that's a really cool feature. So let me choose the standard katana for this training mode. And I'll give him one too. And you can just see, I love the menus. I love the art design of the game. Everything is beautiful. They did a great job with the feel. And that's always very important to me, is the way a game feels while you're playing it. Not just the gameplay, but the whole experience. And look at this gray background with that red type. It's very unique and it's very cool. Here we are in the game. And I'm going to show you, we have 3 different strikes. A low strike, a medium strike, and a high strike. Then we have a parry and a run button. And look, he's dead. That's it. That's the end of him. And he's gone. So we're going to have to notify his now widow and inform her that he died honorably at the tip of my wooden sword. But yeah, that's the end of it. And that's pretty much the draw of this game, is the one-hit kills, the potential for a one-hit kill. And the running feature, which you're seeing now, is essential if you want to be a coward like me and break the code of Bushido and slice him in the back if you can. Now, Bushido is a real thing in this game. So the computer is judging you all the time by the way that you fight. And if you fight honorably, meaning if you stand face to face, if you allow your opponent to stand up, if you don't strike them after you don't need to, after the round, all that is calculated and determines whether or not you're going to get the good ending to this game. And if you don't follow the code of Bushido, if you don't follow the code, the game ends abruptly, like when it shouldn't end. And that's kind of a tragic, stressful moment when it just ends and it says, sorry, but you're not up to snuff. So let me show you. I'll use the old PlayStation trick. I'll do start, select, and the shoulder buttons to get back to the main menu. Pro tip if you don't know that. Going up to, I'll skip slash mode, that's the endurance mode, but I will show you POV mode just because I think it's pretty cool. And like I said, this is a first-person mode, and a pretty good one. Like, they did a really good job with this. So let me choose, I'll choose Mikado this time. Fight, Red Shadow. And let's choose, how about the broadsword? And I'll give her the Naginata. Yeah, this game is, if you haven't noticed, it's really fun. You could bury some hours into this game, and it's especially fun if you have somebody to play it with. If you have a player two, just the whole excitement that builds up as you're trying to avoid, that final blow, which could come anytime. A single strike can kill you in this game, and or for some weird reason you can just continuously slice. But so here we go. This is my sword here, and you see the first person going on here, and I am chopping away. And it controls surprisingly well, considering that it's, basically a primitive 3D game. PlayStation was very ambitious in its 3D attempts. It didn't let its technical limitations hold it back from, putting forth the vision that it wanted. So kudos to them, but if you think this looks rough, I don't know if you've never seen this game before, and you might be thinking, ew, that looks pretty rough. I have filters on, and I'm actually using a high resolution filter to make it look a lot better than it used to. And I also have a shader, I think it's called HQ4 shader on. So, and it's in widescreen, which the original, of course, was not in widescreen. But yeah, it looks much better than it used to. So, if Square, which is now Square Enix, if they ever did do something like an HD remake or a reimagining, wouldn't be, that was that's pretty graphic there. Sorry about that. But yeah, it's totally doable, and that's just an emulator. Imagine what they could do in-house. And let me go back to, so that's the POV mode, And let me go back to the main screen and show you the story mode, which is the real meat of the game. Let's take a look. And take a look at the costumes. Something really weird is about to happen to these costumes. You'll notice in just a second. Now that's a cool one. At least she stays, you know, looking like a ninja / samurai. But look at this. What were they thinking with this one? It looks like a aerobic cardio, like a Taibo instructor with rollerblades on. Mikado, she looks like she's going to the Robo Discotheque and like industrial, I don't know what, steampunk? I don't know what, she's got the weird veil on there. Zoro, he turns into Zoro for no apparent reason, and he has a transparent sash. and this guy turns into Gambit from X-Men for no good reason, with a grenade chest plate. Weirdest thing ever. And then this guy turns into like a Dragon Ball Z extra, like a no-name Dragon Ball Z dude. He had an awesome costume in the training mode. I don't know why they did this, but it is what it is. Let me choose the least offensive looking person, which I think is Red Shadow. And I'm going to choose, for a weapon, I'm going to choose that beautiful sledgehammer. Just because it's available. So I'm going to go full Triple H, and let's see if we can maintain some level of Bushido with a sledgehammer. The ancient sledgehammer hammered into the Tokugawa shogunate period, I'm not sure. Here's the intro. Very cool cinematic intro, and talks about some type of a mission that I need to go on because I'm the only one who can maintain the code after some evil dude did some evil thing. And there's headgear there for some reason. Why are they obsessed with this weird looking headgear? Whoever the lead designer for this was really into headgear. That's right at the front, the forefront. This is the Magneto helmet. I know what Uchusemi will do. However, if he fights Uchusemi, at best they'll kill each other. Giant eyes in the front of the camera. I can't let that happen with my sledgehammer. My sledgehammer of justice shall prevail. Here we go. Round 1. Fight. And we're going to see if I can keep on the path of Bushido using a giant Home Depot purple sledgehammer. For some reason it's purple. I don't know why. Everything gets wacky in story mode. Now look at how cool this stage is. For some reason there's that weird construction site going on in the background, and that's why, you know, this game is very perplexing. It makes really amazing choices, and I'm dead. See that one hit kill right there? She just sliced me and I was dead. And therein lies the appeal of this game. That's a really cool mechanic that had not really been seen before. Let me continue. And let me just run away. And be a coward. And when I run away, you're going to see that she chases me. And maybe I have this little technique where I just spin around and do a little slice. And I couldn't do it. So I'm going to run away again. See ya. And look at how the camera zooms out and it just shows you the full scope of the level. And look at how big the level is. This was really unheard of at the time. These branching levels that actually connect into different portions of the story. You see we're on a bridge now. This is just a huge arena to fight in. And, you know, that's a really amazing feature to add, because since you can die at any time, really, being able to run away is such a cool feature. And she's done. Man, that was rough. She just sat there. Ay. Jeez. Sorry about that. Let's see what Mikado. I'm so sorry for doing that to you. But I had to do it. It was the Bushido made me do it. It was really the Bushido that made me do it. Here's this dude over here, Mr. Zoro. He has a sledgehammer too. Dueling sledgehammers is something I always wanted to see. So let's see who's... There you have it. Zoro and the Sledgehammer of Truth. Well, let me see if I can get the upper hand this time. Now see, if he's bowing and I crack him in the noodle, that would definitely be... Aye! I'm never sure what constitutes breaking the code of Bushido, because just the fact that I can choose a sledgehammer, does the choice itself just end the Bushido? It seems like it should. I must see how far I can make it before the game boots me back to the menu for breaking the code of Bushido. So, yeah, this game is really fun. And like I said, you can bury hours into it. And if you do have somebody to play with, it's much fun, more fun. And yeah, I think really I would have to study the manual to see exactly what the etiquette is, the proper etiquette. But it seems like you need to allow them to bow, allow them to do their intro, little comment, and then proceed to fight face to face, head on. No running around behind the back, no back slashes, no running away, no cracking in the back of the skull with a sledgehammer. Right directly in the face, in between the eyes, is acceptable. Like, don't you dare hit them on the side of the head with that sledgehammer, because that's not Bushido. Now look at his arm. You see his arm has been injured there? His arm is injured. That means I can get the upper hand. But would true Bushido, like, would I continue to fight if he had an injured arm? Or would I injure my own arm also so that we're on fair ground here? Okay, so he's been gored. That was my fatality. And I continue to fight another day. Let's see how far I can take this. And what was she saying? All I wanted was to kill the dojo master for Utsusemi. That's all I wanted. You were standing in the way. So I had to vanquish you with my sledgehammer of truth. And Bushido. My Bushido bludgeon. That's what I call it. So here I have faux Dragon Ball Z guy in his his futuristic, ridiculous getup. He looks like a Vegeta stunt double. And let me see if I can just look. His arm is injured already, and he's good. He doesn't need two hands. This guy is very good. Let me continue. Look at that. You see the polygons, how they waver back and forth like that? That's just a classic PlayStation effect, unintentional effect. That just is something they had to deal with technically. Their hardware, for some reason, created that effect. And it was much worse than the original. Like I said, I have shaders on and I have like a stabilizer in the emulator, but I don't want to kill. I only want to maim and bludgeon. I don't want to kill. Let's see now, look at, okay, she's running through the bamboo field with her sledgehammer and her bandaged body. You see, you get bandages. The more you lose, the more bandages you get, which is kind of like a telltale sign that you've been losing a lot. And I jumped in the sewer. I think every time you jump in the sewer, I think that means you've taken the dark path to, sneakily bludgeoning people and running away like a coward. But Gambit and I are going to duel it out in the Ninja Turtle sewer. And I'm going to hit him. I'm going to hit him until it says game over. Look at that dramatic death. Very good, Gambit. I'm very impressed. I would say 9 out of 10 for that death. Excellent. Okay. Oh, he's not dead. You did well. I'll leave the rest to you. Thank you, Gambit. Your wounds aren't fatal. Take care of yourself. I only cracked your shoulder blade. I lost. Those who stray far from the true way follow a damned path. I broke Bushido with my Bushido bludgeon. Yeah, I wonder if I ever back in the day if I was able to maintain the Bushido code all the way through. But yeah, it's cool because when you're fighting 2 players, none of that matters. You can break any code you want. I think, unless there's some weird game mechanic where it takes away points. Maybe it does. It's been a while. But amazing game. I love this game. I wish they would remake it. There is a really cool game on Kickstarter that has been successfully funded that looks to reinvent Bushido Blade with modern graphics. It's not called Bushido Blade. I'll put the link in the description below. And this game was brought to my attention by Chin Lee. co-founder of Gamers Overdrive. Thank you very much, Chin, for the heads up on that. It looks amazing. So the spirit of Bushido Blade lives on, and unfortunately Square Enix never did do an HD remake. If maybe, you know, who knows, they might in the future. But in the meanwhile, just enjoy the game in its pure state. Download it any way you can, play it. It's an incredible game, lots of fun. And I'm going to give it a rad rating. Not quite Overdrive, it's very close to being an Overdrive game, but it is definitely rad. Just a few things that I would change about it, notably the wardrobe and the wardrobe. But other than that, really, really awesome game. I hope you enjoyed this playthrough. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe, share it with your friends, and thank you very much for your support of Gamers Overdrive Retro Mode. I really, really appreciate it. And I will see you next time for another retro gaming experience. See you next time.